in association with Brookdale Lunch and Meat.
Ready?
All right, everybody, good morning. I am in Canvas, and the reason being is I wanted to show you guys what I put up yesterday. Now, this is going to be my first review for AP Gov, but if you go here, it says AP Macro Review. It's the announcement I made yesterday afternoon. So this is the Clifford Packet I had the school purchase for you all. This is a must if you're taking the AP Macro exam. It is, all right? You got this, you got two things in order to prepare for that AP Macro exam. You've got this packet, which is going to basically reteach all the concepts, and then you've got the videos I'm doing where I'm walking you through these FRQs. So you practice the FRQ, and then you listen to my explanation. You watch my explanation in that video. You're going to click this link here. It's going to take you to a website. For step 2, it says click buy now. It says have a coupon code. You're going to put in Armistead 87, and then the total price will be $0, and then you're set up. Okay, he sends you these links to his videos. They're not public videos. It's a whole packet that you print out. It's organized by unit, and you're going to be all set there. So the Clifford AP Macro Review is going to reteach and review the stuff. And then the videos I'm doing with the FRQ is going to be the other side of that coin. All right, do those two things, and then you should be good. You should be very well prepared going into that thing. Don't forget about AP Macro. I know we're very Gov focused right now and have been for a while. Don't forget about that AP Macro. And I'm going to just say one thing really quick. You know, having to take government again in college as a freshman is not really that big of a deal, but taking economics again is going to be kind of tough for some of you guys. The reason being is these college professors don't teach it like I did, where they just really kind of walk you through it. And, you know, you get kind of spoon-fed this whole process and whatnot. There's a lot of reading in economics classes in college. I love economics, but reading about it can be pretty dismal. So don't forget about that econ. Remember, the bar is lower for the econ. It's a 3. You've been taught all the material. Just go back and do these two things. Do the Clifford review, and then do the videos I've been posting. I'm only getting about 15 to 20 hits on those econ videos right now. Some of you guys, it's time to get back into this AP Macro practice, because you're less than a month out from that. Okay. Again, go to this announcement. It's there, and it's very well organized, and he reteaches all the concepts. You practice with these problem sets. It's really well done. Most kids from the past that have done it, and again, you guys benefited this year more so than other classes I'd had, because the school had extra money, and I had the school buy it for you. In years past, I just suggested to kids, hey, go buy his packets, and the ones that did tend to do better on the test. And they would come back, and because I want feedback. I didn't want kids wasting their money on stuff. I said, hey, how was that? Was it good? They said, yeah, it really, really helped a lot. So go to this announcement and and please do that. Okay, this is going to be the first Gov review. And I'm going to go to the announcement that says AP Gov, AP Exam, everything you need to know, COVID-19 edition. All right. The review sheet is attached to this. My computer's taking a minute. Here we go. This is the document that was attached to that. Okay, everything you need to know. Okay, today I'm gonna get into probably all the way up into the federalism. Okay, so tomorrow I'll get into federalism. So today we'll go from advice and consent to the Federalist Papers. Again, I told you guys I think it'd be a really good idea to print this sheet out, jot down some notes next to, it's going to be kind of hard to do it next to, but on your own sheet of paper. And then this is something you can go look at as you complete that open book, open note exam you guys have on the 11th. Okay, so advice and consent, and the reason this is first, it's just in alphabetical order. It's not in order of importance or something like that. Advice and consent is just referring to the fact that the Senate has the confirmation power. Remember, that's a special power of the Senate, is they have that confirmation power, and that's language from the Constitution. The Constitution says, with the advice and consent of the Senate, the president will make treaties, and with the advice and consent of the Senate, the president will make the appointments. Okay, so the Senate confirms treaties, that's a 2/3 majority, and then the Senate confirms the appointments, that's just a simple majority. Anti-Federalists, right, wrote Brutus I, do not like the idea of a new constitution. They just wanted to amend the Articles of Confederation. They want strong state governments. They want a weak central government. And this is more your farmers at this time. Definitely not your elite that had property they wanted to protect. That's part of the reason the Federalists wanted that Constitution. All right, Articles of Confederation. Couple things to remember there in regards to just simply what it did, other than the weaknesses. The one successful piece of legislation, it did pass. They passed that Northwest Ordinance that helped how territories were going to become states. So that set up a process for how territories were going to become states. Each state had one vote in the Articles of Confederation. It was a unicameral Congress. There was no president. There's no judiciary. 9 out of 13 for a law. 13 out of 13 to amend. There's no interstate commerce clause. No power to tax. Pretty sure I covered it all there. This is one of those, though. You're going to find it in the Quizlet I made. So that's definitely another one you want to go look at. Okay, bicameral just means two houses. You could just simply see that language in some prompt the College Board gives you, and just understand that bicameral, we have a bicameral legislature, it just means two houses. All right, Bill of Rights, I'm just going to kind of skip this. The reason being is this is really your Unit 3 stuff when you get into civil liberties and stuff. So we're not going to worry about that. Okay, checks and balances, all right? Start with the judiciary. How can they check Congress? How can they check the president? The judiciary rules laws of Congress and actions of the president unconstitutional. They can rule laws of states unconstitutional. They can rule actions of governors unconstitutional. Congress, how can they check the judiciary, right? They make that confirmation of the appointments. They also can impeach judges. That's important to remember, all right? The president, how can they check the judiciary? They make the appointment, and then also they have the reprieves and pardons. I think the better way to go is the fact that they make the appointment. They choose who these judges are going to be. Okay, Congress, how do they check the president? They have the power of the purse. Okay, they have the impeachment. They can override the veto. The president, how can the president check Congress? The president has the veto. Okay. And there you go. There's pretty much a checks and balances. That, if you're going to ask me what is one concept that is the most important in AP government, I would say it's checks and balances. It usually shows up every year in the FRQs. I'd be really surprised, even with this very condensed, narrow test you're going to get, where it's all of 10 points, that if checks and balances don't show up somewhere, I'd be really surprised. All right, Commerce Clause. Right, really important power of Congress. It's been used to uphold a lot of things like civil rights. I told you guys that yesterday. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 had been challenged. It was upheld with the Commerce Clause, right? So people were saying, well, hey, how can Congress ban discrimination in a hotel? And it's like, well, that hotel is catering to people from other states. That's interstate commerce. That's how they're upholding that Civil Rights Act using the Commerce Clause. There was an early court case, which is not one of your required cases, Gibbons versus Ogden, that we talked about, where we see an expansion of the Commerce Clause. You see this broad definition, and you tend to get this broader definition over time. However, it did get limited with United States versus Lopez. So remember, they said, hey, that Gun for Free School Zones Act, that's not going to fall under interstate commerce, okay? Declaration of Independence. That's one of those, again, when I get to the second page of this and I start getting into these required documents, I will get into the Declaration of Independence there, all right? Electoral College. I teach the Electoral College with the president, but it's really more elections. So I don't think it's going to show up. I teach it in Unit 1. This is my Unit 1, which is really kind of mirrors the College Board's. I don't think the Electoral College is going to show up. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and talk about it just in case. So just remember that, right, people do not directly elect the president. This Electoral College, the electors from each state, how many electors does each state get? Each state gets one, and then they get the number of representatives and senators they have in their state. All right. The people's vote then informs the electors how to vote. Remember, it's a winner-take-all system in almost every state. Therefore, you get a very clear winner in the Electoral College. You're never going to see a runoff election or something like that. And then that makes the candidates focus on the swing states, the battleground states. So candidates are going to ignore states like Georgia, that's pretty solidly red. They're going to ignore states like Mississippi. They're going to focus on those swing states where things are close, where there's a lot of electors at play, and it's going to be a close race. So Florida, Ohio, in the past Virginia, Wisconsin, places like that. All right. Elite democracy. All right. This is the idea that it's a democracy where the few, the wealthy, are really the ones pulling the strings on government. All right, we see elite democracy in our constitutional republic in the United States. Where do we see that? Well, if you look at the Constitution, originally senators were chosen by state legislatures, not the people. That suggests that elite democracy. The Electoral College, the people aren't choosing the president. The electors are. These chosen few, elite democracy. The fact that our judiciary is completely insulated from the public, not elected, appointed by the president, confirmed by the Senate, elite democracy. Okay. Remember, enumerated and expressed powers. These are the expressed powers of Congress. Okay, you could see the College Board use the word enumerated. You could see them use the word expressed. Those are the powers of Congress in the Constitution, right? Some of those really important ones. Congress has the power to tax, regulate interstate commerce. They create the lower courts. Congress has the power of the purse because they tax. Naturalization, so they get to make laws in regards to what it is to become a citizen. They have power to raise an army or navy, declare war, and then, of course, punish the pirates. Federalist Papers, right? This is just those papers written by the Federalists, those essays written by the Federalists trying to get support for the Constitution. All right. Really simple there. Okay, that's it today. Again, tomorrow I'll get into federalism and probably most of the rest of this. This is this is the first review video. Again, guys, go download that Clifford review. Please do that today.